Hello everyone, I'm Aki Zidan and today I will be explaining about blast fishing, or some would say fish bombing. So what exactly is blast fishing? Blast fishing is basically a method of fishing that involves any kind of explosion like dynamite. When and where? Basically, blast fishing occurs where there are fish. The most frequent places is Komodo Island in Indonesia, Palawan Island in Philippines since 1987, Manazi Bay, Tanzania in Africa since 1960, and also our own Mabul Island in Sabah. There are many types of bombs that are used during fish bombing. These three are the most frequently used. The first one is dynamite plus water. The second one is ammonium nitrate, the white sand, and also some kerosene. The third one is a mixture of matrates, sand, and also fertilizer. How to operate. For this part, I will show a video by a filmmaker and also a journalist named Benjamin Zan. He basically did a documentary about the fish bombing issue that is happening in Mabul Island. So if you guys are interested, you can check his YouTube page, which is Benjamin Zan, Z-A-N-D, on YouTube.
Where's the bomb? Okay, shows how simple the bombs are. It's literally a bottle with some fertilizer in it.
One of the men searches underwater for living coral. He knows that's where they'll find the most fish. They stop when they find the perfect spot.
There we go. Oh my god. Yeah, you can smell the fumes in the air of the fertilizer that's in the bottles. And these aren't like firecrackers, these are actual bombs the size of that explosion.
One of the men dives in to start collecting fish. The shockwave from the blast kills or stuns the fish, often liquefying their internal organs. The diver focuses on the bigger fish, leaving most of the smaller fish behind. Where the bomb went off, the coral is destroyed. And a few meters away, the anchor rips through the coral that's still alive.
There he is. Can we see what you've got? Look at the amount of fish he's got. Look how happy he is. The tiny ones like that, they just completely ignore it. Looking for another place to throw another bomb. They're just carrying on. And they've got a number of bombs because they are so cheap.
Fish bombing's got so bad here. Environmental groups say that 15 blasts can be heard every hour.
What will you do with the fish now? Are you going to sell it? Some people would say what you're doing is selfish. You're destroying the coral just to get some food.
Consequences. For the fishes, the shock wave from the fish bomb actually stunned the fish, which will liquefy their organs, and eventually they will die. And as you guys can see from the video, not all the fishes are collected. The fishes that doesn't have a commercial value are left behind to die. For corals, I'll be showing another clip from Benjamin Sands.
What was once a colourful and thriving reef, a breeding ground and habitat for 2,000 species of fish, is now a barren wasteland that stretches for miles. The destruction here is mostly down to fish bombing.
It actually looks like a city that's just been completely burned to the ground. It doesn't look like coral.
This is a result of decades of blast fishing. So this is fishermen coming from local communities, bringing their own homemade bombs and repeatedly bombing the same site. Fish stocks are dwindling out in the open ocean, and this is a quick and easy way to make a catch.
Besides fish and coral, humans also are affected by the fish bomb. As you guys can see from the first picture, this is actually what happens to a bomber that was very unlucky, where the bomb exploded and caused him to lose his hands and also some scarring at his legs and also his stomach. The bomb does not just affect the bomber but also other people as well. As you guys can see from the second picture, this man is actually an officer. What happened to his eye is when he was approaching some bombers, the bombers decided to throw acid at his face. So basically caused some damage to his eye, loss of lives. In Semporna, there were 3 people who are killed while diving as they got too close to a bombing site. Lack of food. When the coral beds are destroyed and when the fishes die, it causes locals or fishermen that use the traditional way of fishing to not have enough fish as a food source. From an economic perspective, the tourism industry will be decreased as coral reefs are basically a tourist attraction. Besides that, there would also be a decrease in source of protein as most of the fishes and also other aquatic animals are being killed. So with all those consequences, why do people still do it? Why do fishermen still do it? First of all, it's all about efficiency. Fish bombing is way easier than the traditional way of hunting fish using a spear like this picture. You just have to put an explosive and basically the fish will come to you. The second factor is cost. Making a bomb is very cheap and usually the items you already have in hand. The items include glass bottles, a starter, fertilizer and sands. The third factor is poverty. The people in Mabul live in the coastal area where it's far from the mainland and most of them have no jobs and no money. But most of them have a relatively big family, mostly from 5 to 6 children. This caused them to not have enough food and resort to fish bombing in order to put food on the table. If you watch the full documentary, you can see that some of the locals have made a choice of giving away his child to a distant relative just because he was unable to take care of his newborn. Another factor is income potential. Basically, the more fish you get, the more money you get. The last factor is lack of enforcement, where the penalties are seen very ineffective and also some occasion of bribery. And even though there is a law against fish bombing, which from the documentary as well, a fisherman was recently released from his 3-year jail sentence. But after being released from the jail, he quickly resorted back to fish bombing, and this is because there is no other option to get food and money. Okay, so how to improve? Legal actions. Authorities should increase the amounts of penalties and also increase the amounts of patrolling officers so that they can frequently patrol the oceans. Modern technology. Drones should be used to patrol the oceans to ensure that there are no fish bombing incidents going on out there. Another invention is a bomb detector, which could be used to detect bombing sites as an evidence when they are trying to convict the bombers. Help the needed. Government should not just provide food and money, but also increase the job applications for the people that are living in the coastal area of Mabul. This is for them to not rely on fish bombing in order to get food and money. Rebuilding the coral beds. Bottles, as you can see in this picture, are placed on the seabeds to provide a foundation for the corals to start to grow back. And finally, the last way to improve the situation is basically by awareness. Usage of social media, multiple campaigns can be used to ensure that more people are aware of the problems at hand. The more people that know, the better it is to prevent future bombing incidents. Okay, that is all for me today. Thank you very much for listening. I hope now you have a more in-depth information about blast fishing and use it to ensure that no more of it is going to happen in the future.